Ahoy there! Captain Benzie here, coming at you with a special bonus video for EVE Echoes this weekend. Now, normally I only put out content at 2100 UTC, Monday through Friday, but when there is something big or exciting, or just something fun that I want to talk about at the weekend, I will put out bonus content, so please make sure that if you're not already subscribed to the channel, you click that subscribe button now, so that you don't miss out on exciting news like this in the future. Now, today I woke up this morning to find my notifications had gone off for the EVE Echoes official Twitter account. Yes, of course I have those set on because I want to know exactly what's happening. And I woke up to this amazing announcement that does mean I need to apologise to you all for getting something wrong. Now, when I recently was doing a video on the clarifications, etc. on Nihilist Space and Exploration, I suggested that I thought that this might launch on the 9th of June. Turns out, nope, this is launching on Wednesday, June the 2nd. That is this week, that is this coming Wednesday, and damn, that's the day that we have to take Moogle in to have his knackers removed. Oh well, that's probably why I was hoping for June the 9th. Obviously, it just means that hopefully that will be during the maintenance. I expect the maintenance will be a longer 4-hour one like it was for the balance patch, rather than the usual 2-hour maintenance period. Obviously, there is a lot of content that is going to be added in this patch, so bless him, little Moogle's off to the vet to get that done, so we'll be taking him in first thing in the morning. And of course I'll be looking after him in the afternoon whilst playing around with exploration, which means that's going to be a pretty exciting day for me and a pretty naff day for him. So best wishes to Moogle in the comment section, hey? Anyway, now one thing I just want to jump back and just point out, this is obviously the artwork they are using for the exploration update, and this has changed ever so slightly. You can see here EVE Echoes Exploration June 2nd, but it's now a Blackbird Covert Ops on here, which makes sense. One, I think the Covert Ops ships are going to be very popular as ships that do this whole exploration thing. The Blackbird Covert Ops, the Bellicose Covert Ops, the Arbitrator and the Celestis, etc. I think are going to be very popular ships, along with the Probe, the Heron, the Magnate, and the Imicus Covert Ops. I will probably be in a Probe Covert Ops an awful lot in the coming week. Well, I've barely undocked anything else on my main for the past few weeks. I've been doing a lot of sort of ramping up and preparing for exploration. Anyway, that has changed ever so slightly to what we saw at the NetEase Connect event, which you can see here in the background used to be a Nestor, but now that we know the Sisters of Eve ships are not going to be coming in the exploration update, they're only going to be coming as part of the arena update in August, it makes sense that they've changed that. I wonder if they picked up on that from my video or if someone else mentioned it. I'd like to think it was my video. Devs, if you're watching, thank you, but also kind of not thank you. I really wish we were getting the Sisters of Eve in this expansion. Don't get me wrong, exploration is going to be absolutely massive as it is, and I've got tons of stuff that I'm going to be exploring without needing new ships. It just means that the arena update is going to be even bigger and even more exciting for me. So it's kind of, you know, they give with one hand and they take with the other. They give me an awesome, you know, they're making the arena update even more awesome for me, but they have to take the Sisters of Eve away for a few more months in order to do so. Now let's have a look at the rest of this announcement, because there's more than just, hey, it's coming on Wednesday. Now they say here, this update includes scanning, which we knew, Nihilist Space, which we knew, a new Battle Pass event which begins on June 3rd, and we'll talk more about that in a moment, and Nanocores, an all-new way of further customizing your ship. Now, this is a blind side to me. I've not seen anything that talks about ship customization or nanocores or anything like this. I have no idea what this is, and I'm going to be asking lots of questions to the developers and seeing if I can get some information ahead of time. But I quite like that the developers have snuck this in under my nose completely. Nanocores, what the heck are these? Is this just a new way of, like, changing your ship's colour? I don't think so, because we had a dev Q&A this week where someone literally said, could we get sliders or, you know, spray paints or things that we can just recolour our ships simply with those? And the developers have said, well, maybe after August that's something we can look into. So unless they're lying through their teeth because they know it's already on its way, that seems unlikely, so I'm not sure. It could be the sliders, it could be that the developers have been throwing red herrings out and saying, no, that's not coming for a while yet, maybe we can look into that in the future, and secretly it's coming on Wednesday. Or maybe nanocores are something else completely. Now, it talks about customizing your ship. There have been talks, a lot of people, myself included, have toyed with the idea of a way to add additional slots or module slots and rigs, etc. to an existing ship. Imagine if you could take the standard Rifter, the Tech 2 Rifter, and you could add a third high slot to it. So rather than it being 2 high slots, 1 mid and 3 lows, it's 3 high slots, a mid and 3 lows. Suddenly, that becomes a lot more viable as a PvP throwaway ship. What if you could use these nanocores to add an additional rig slot to give it additional capabilities there? What if you could add new mid slots? What if this is a way to customize the modules and rig slots on your ship? That would be amazing. Like, yeah, okay, there's a lot of balance implications that come with that as well, but I don't know. I kind of think that it's a self-balancing system, because if it's available to everyone, then you can sit there and say, well, yeah, my opponents now have massive amounts of DPS, but you can go, okay, well, I'm going to add a new tanking module instead. It allows you to kind of fix the problems that you have with ships. The ability to go back to having 4 low slots on a Dragoon Assault would be amazing. I'd get my the 4 high slots, not quite what I wanted, maybe I'll add a 5th one up there, but that would be amazing to me. I don't know, maybe this could be it. I'm purely spitballing here. I'm purely spitballing here. There is no suggestion that that is actually what's coming. Nothing at all. I literally know nothing about nanocores. I'm just saying, wouldn't that be amazing? If I find more information over this weekend, I will of course let you all know. So again, make sure you're subscribed. Other than that though, goodness, I have no idea. If you've got an idea of what nanocores could be, let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear it. Now we're going to go back to that bit where it says a new Battle Pass event, because this is, for some reason, in EVE Echoes, a controversial thing. Battle Passes exist in every blasted game that has an online component now. They're in Apex Legends, they're in Fortnite, they're in absolutely everything from Brawl Stars right the way up to, you know, Clash Royale and everything in between. Ultimately, Battle Passes are something that most of the community actively wants. It's a reason to log in daily, it's a reason to play the game in different ways, that kind of thing. When I worked on Armajet and CNC Rivals content, one of the things that was suggested most to those communities is, when is a Battle Pass coming? We really want a Battle Pass. Now, Rivals never really got one. It got its events, which are similar. Armajet ended up getting a Battle Pass, and it was a big, widely wanted feature, and was very, very positively accepted. When they tried this with the Hunt, ultimately people got really angry at this. And I get that, I suppose your daily login rewards are kind of like a Battle Pass, but it's a Battle Pass if you have Omega. And it's just a daily login reward, it's not really a Battle Pass. Now look, the Hunt, when they tried this last time, wasn't perfect. I've said that in the Hunt video, that it wasn't a perfect situation. I would have liked it to have been a lot more like EVE Online's version of the Hunt, where you actually go out and you scan down damaged capsules. You actually have to go out and hunt for these. It's an Easter egg hunt. It's literally an Easter egg hunt, but for damaged capsules, because they kind of look like Easter eggs, I guess. But we didn't have the systems in place in EVE Echoes to actually make that happen. We didn't have scanning. We didn't have any of the stuff required to actually go out and make that happen as a fun event. It would have just basically been, hey, go do some missions. So what they did was they rewarded you for playing the game in numerous different ways, and you could ultimately do this via mining or via industry. You could do it via all kinds of different ways, ratting, PvP, which was kind of cool. It wasn't what I wanted in an event, but ultimately, if you went for the free track, you still had more stuff than you had before. You were getting something extra from the developers over that period of time, and I know that some people complained that, oh yes, but you get more if you pay. Well, isn't that just the way of the world? Like, it's not to be dismissive, but that is the way of the world, and skill points, I will go to my grave saying that skill points are not as necessary as people make them out to be, and my goodness, people hate me for saying that, but it's true. If you've been playing EVE Online long enough, and it's, you know, what, 18 years old now, 100%, anyone who has been playing the game long enough will tell you skill points are basically required to reach a benchmark. You need enough engineering skills to fit the modules you want. You need enough afterburner skills in order to be able to go at the speed that you need. Once you hit that point for the particular ship you're using, any additional skill points are completely extraneous and unnecessary. If you are just wanting to fly slasher interceptors, by the time you've got your micro warp drive, your afterburner, and your frigate skills and cannon skills all the way to maximum, everything else is extraneous, and most people who are flying those ships and want to be maxed out on those already are with skill points to spare. Who cares that I've also got skills in railguns or cruisers or whatever? That doesn't matter if I'm flying my Slasher Interceptor, and my Slasher Interceptor skills don't matter if I'm flying my cruiser, etc. Skill points are not as important as you make them out to be. I'm going to go to my grave repeating this over and over again, and there are always going to be people in the comment section who are absolutely outraged that I dared to suggest that. Thing is, think about it. What I'm saying is you don't need to play the game as min-maxy as you're trying to. You can relax. You don't have to spend money buying every single skill point that comes your way. You can relax. You don't need to do it. And that's going to be the same here with this Battle Pass. If you go with the free tracker, there will be a free tracker, you are getting free stuff that you did not have before this Battle Pass started. If you want to pay extra and get the extra stuff on top as well, you're getting all the cool free stuff and you're getting some extra stuff. It's how the developers make money, it's an exciting feature that people want added to their games, and I will, this is a hill I will die on. This is a hill I will die on, that there is like 3% of a community that screams and wails and shouts every time NetEase dares to say, we would like you to have the option of buying this and giving us money, or not buying it. And those people will scream and shout, and 5% I think is more than the actual number of the community that gets angry at this. The other 90% are either apathetic and just don't care because, heck, I'm not going to pay for it, or they're actively excited by it. And I've seen enough evidence to suggest that more people are excited about the concept of a battle pass being added and exciting new stuff being added to the game than are detracting away from it. So I will side with the larger side of the community here and say, if you want to pay for the battle pass, that's freaking awesome. Go for it. Have fun. If you don't want to pay for it, that's cool. You don't have to. You are not required to pay for it. You're not going to lose out. Like, FOMO is such a big thing, but just don't give in to it. Don't give in to FOMO. If you want the battle pass, awesome. Go for it. If you don't want it, just accept you're still getting the free track. That's still free stuff that you did not have before. And if it's skill points, that just brings Tech 10 on that a little bit faster now, doesn't it? Anyway, so what we're looking at there, I think all of this is pretty cool. Scanning and Exploration is coming on Wednesday, we're getting Nihilist Space, we're getting Scanning, we're getting a new Battle Pass event, and we're getting Nanocores, whatever the heck those are. I cannot wait for this at all. It's going to be a busy day for me, but my goodness, I'm going to be, like, you know, completely out of action otherwise. I'm going to be sitting here with Moogle all curled up and sedated, playing with Exploration and figuring out what all of this stuff is. So do expect big videos on how scanning works, on how Nihilist Space works, on what these nanoprobes are, etc, etc. It's gonna be an awesome day. Now, the final thing I want to address, continuing on that slightly ranty theme there, talking about battle passes, is just something that keeps cropping up in my comment section below. There are 2 points I want to quickly address. One is people saying, oh, like, battle pass events are just a way for the developers to make more money out of us. I'm already struggling as a free-to-play player. Now they're adding more things that you can choose to pay for. Yeah, well, Eve Echoes is not a free-to-play game. It isn't. The developers have never been shy on admitting this. It is not a free-to-play game. You can play it for free, but it is not a free-to-play game. The difference there is some Apex Legends and Fortnite are free-to-play games. You are as competitive whether you pay or if you go completely free-to-play. The payment is, you know, it's not required. In Eve Echoes, this is a subscription-based game that has the capability to earn that subscription in-game through gameplay, and does not lock you out completely if you cannot pay the subscription. If I look at other subscription-based games, for example, World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV, they're the examples I usually give, if my subscription runs out, that's it, I can't log in, I can't even talk to my friends, it's gone, it doesn't exist anymore, I cannot access the game. In Eve, if I cannot pay my subscription for a month, I still have access to the game. I still am able to log in, I can still fly ships, I just have certain ships locked away, and certain skills are locked away temporarily until I get my Omega back. It is a subscription-based game, not a free-to-play game. You are not supposed to be able to play the game completely for free. You're not supposed to be able to get through this without any form of hardship if you're not paying towards it, and that's an uncomfortable truth, I get it, but that is how it is. That is the game design of Eve, that you're supposed to be expected to pay at least your $5 a month basic Omega. That's a lot cheaper than other subscription-based games are. $5 a month gets you access to the game in all its complete forms, and once you have Omega, you'll find it is a lot easier to earn Omega to keep it going. But even then, if you can't get Omega every single month, you kind of pay $5 on a month, you earn enough ISK to pay for your Plex for Omega the second month, then you don't have enough for the third month, you pay $5 again. You're now paying $5 every 2 months, because the game is, you know, over those 2 months, you're earning enough to buy Omega completely. That's the idea, that you can supplement your subscription based on gameplay. And I really like this as a system. It's not perfect by any stretch, but it's how EVE does it, and it's how it gets away with cheaper monetization than might otherwise be required. And it still is possible for free-to-play style players to get into, if you're willing to put in the time and energy to earn your Plex. And of course, this is also why I do a weekly giveaway for 2 people to win a month of Combo Omega, and why they do the developer Q&A, where if you ask and your question is featured, you earn a month of basic Omega. There are ways to get Omega for free that will help you out, and a lot of corporations I know do situations where if you're, you know, active in the community, if you're active in the corporation and working together, they will help you with corporation Omega clones and things like that. So there are ways to get it for free, but it is designed primarily as a subscription-based game. Anyway, to move off that rant onto another one, the other one is of course going to be regarding scanning, because I know a lot of people are saying, well, I guess, I'm going to see people in my comment section say, well, I guess I'm quitting the game on Wednesday then. And I don't get this. I really don't get this, because these are the same people who are telling me, I wish there was more difficult content because I'm getting bored just running the same encounters over and over. And we know there are new encounters coming in August, eventually, maybe perhaps sometime. No, the developers have said there are new encounters coming. That's not yet. What they have done, though, is they've taken those low-sec missions, which are not the meat and bones of your entire income. I know that they're the bigger amount, but you only get one of those maybe every 2 refreshes. You're still going to be doing the basic high-sec ones as well. So if you're, say, doing the hard missions, all of your Tech 8 encounters are in high-sec, and the Tech 9 ones are in low-sec, and you maybe get 1 or 2 of those every few refreshes. Once you hit Tier 10, obviously all of the Tier 10 is high-sec and low-sec. The low-sec ones are worth more ISK, but they come obviously with that additional risk. People are saying, oh, I want more difficult PvE content. This is it. I know you're saying, oh, I don't want to PvP. You don't have to PvP. When someone scans you down, you can flee. The other way of thinking about it is what someone put in my comment section. I can't remember who it was, but it was a genius way of thinking about it. I was like, that's a good point. If the developers had said, when you are running a low-sec encounter, there is a random chance of a random pirate ship spawning into your encounter at some point. You will get warning when that ship is on its way, and it won't appear in every encounter. It's completely random. You might find that you're running an encounter, like one of the Tech 10 storylines for the Galente Federation, and suddenly a Cinnable appears, or you're running it and suddenly an Atron Interceptor appears. That's what scanning is. Would people be complaining as much if it was just that? If it was the computer jumping up? Because the fact that it's another player on the other end seems to be what's upsetting most people. But again, most ships that are running these high-tier storylines are going to be more than capable of capturing and dealing with an invading player as well. And even then, if you really don't want to have to shoot at a player and don't want to take the risk, fit the modules that give you the alert to jump away. I know this is scary, I get it, but everyone's been crying for more difficulty in their ratting. The developers add that difficulty in a way that gives us PvPers a nice way of doing things as well. And please remember, I've not PvP'd in months. I am still massively a PvE player. Yes, I like both sides of it, and I get that not everyone does, but if someone jumps into your encounter, fit modules that let you know when you're being scanned, and flee. That's all there is to it. It is literally that simple. You can still do that content. If you're really against this and you want to just stick to high-sec because you cannot abide that extra risk, then I would suggest 1, you're not really looking for that difficult content, and 2, you shouldn't be getting top-tier rewards. Name me any other game out there where you can earn top-tier rewards without engaging in top-tier difficulty of that particular system. Like, imagine playing World of Warcraft and expecting the level 1 boars in Elwyn Forest to drop raid gear. It's not gonna happen. If you want to be doing top tier content, and having top tier, well, if you want to be earning top tier gear, top tier ISK, etc., you need to be willing to engage with top tier content. And if you're going to sit there and say, oh well, I don't want the risk, then you don't deserve the full reward. And again, I know I'm going on and on about what is ultimately a small community of people. The vast majority, I think, of the community playing EVE either accepts that this is just a challenge that they're going to overcome, and it means that they're going to have to work harder to get that big ISK that they would get otherwise, or some people are actively encouraged and looking forward to this. I think the people who are like, well, I'm going to quit the game, aren't as big as people are making this out, genuinely. Genuinely, I think it's a small vocal group, and I don't want to dismiss those people. But you are basically saying, I can't run top tier content anymore without putting the effort in, therefore I'm quitting. And I kind of, there's a part of me, the grim part of me, that just wants to sit there and say, bye Felicia, but there's another part of me that kind of understands where those people are coming from. I get it. It's scary, and you're not going to be able to do as well as you were doing before, but you were never supposed to be doing that well to begin with. If you had joined at the point of exploration being added, if you joined the game on Wednesday, that's the norm for you. You're never going to have been able to earn that amount of ISK, and it's going to be something that you're going to then struggle to do. Take it on the idea that you've been able to do something for this length of time, which was never intended for you to be able to do. So just enjoy that, and then adapt to the game beyond it. And I genuinely think this is actually a good thing for the community as well, because Plex is tied to the average ISK per hour generation, and if fewer people are running Tech 10 encounters and things, then the average ISK generation per hour is going to drop, which drops the price of Plex with it. Once that goes down, we also see fewer people doing those storylines, which means the scrolls are in less demand, therefore their price drops. So if you are one of these people who is willing to engage with that top tier content and take that risk, your entry level is cheaper because there's lower demand for those scrolls, so the price has dropped, and you're now going to be much higher than the ISK per hour average. So you're going to be more profitable, and you're going to be getting more profits. It's crazy to think of it that way, but it means you are going to be able to buy your Plex considerably cheaper. Like, it's mind-bending, but it's a good thing. It means anyone who's willing to dare to do that kind of more dangerous encounter is going to have a much better time with it. It also means, and I get it, when I say that, oh, it's going to be more ships destroyed, people are like, well, that doesn't help industry because of insurance. Look, you can either have people spending all of their money on ISK, or they're on Plex, to buy insurance, or they're not. Like, you can't have this both ways. You can't sit there and say, well, Plex is getting more and more expensive, I can't afford Plex, but equally everyone's using Plex to insure their ships. Or you can just say that, look, this is going to result in more deaths, which means more industry. It just does. Even if you say, well, 70% of ships just get generated for free. Well, yeah, okay, but then if it's 70% of 100 destroyed ships, it's now 70% of 300 ships. There's still a bigger amount that are going to be sold. This helps industrialists. It helps people willing to engage with the top tier content. The only people it doesn't help are, for want of a better way of saying it, are the people who expect to be able to do top tier content without putting in the effort for it, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with those people getting a wake-up call and having to adjust their gameplay. If it helps 95% of the community at the expense of 5%, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Anyway, controversial opinions and points over. Exploration here is coming on June 2nd. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get into scanning. I cannot wait to get into Nihilist space. I can't wait to see what's in the battle pass. And I really want to know what nanocores are. Like, seriously, as soon as I finish recording this, I'm jumping straight into Discord, contacting the devs and being like, what the heck are nanocores? Anyway, if you've got any ideas about what nanocores are, or you just want to give me your thoughts and opinions, or tell me how absolutely wrong I am and how horrific and evil a person I am for daring to suggest that, what I've suggested, let me know in the comment section down below. Like, go all out on this one, for crying out loud. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here and vibrate happily, waiting for Wednesday to come along for me to get my greasy little mitts on the exploration update. I can't wait. I hope you can't too. Happy sailing, and see you in Nihilist space when it opens on Wednesday, June 2nd.